All right, good morning, guys. Today is Tuesday, September the 5th, coming back from a long weekend. Definitely also the first official trading day of the, actually not of the month because I think that was Friday, right? Yeah. So ideally second official because yesterday was a holiday. So going over what we have. So personally, my bias is still for US 30 bias is still bullish based off of this. Gold, I'm still bullish on gold on the daily because the last closure was on bullish SAR. EU, I am still bullish on EU. However, you can see we just printed a sell SAR right here. So here, what I interpret this as, so what I would do with this is turn this way, and then I would then highlight this as this, and then I would just put in a note for myself. Right? So in order to avoid confusing myself, right, these are some of the things I like writing down. So as much as I am still bullish on EU, let me put it this way, probably better. Yeah, so as much as I'm still bullish on EU, EU has printed a sell SAR. So if a daily closes below there, my bias will shift to bearish. And the other thing is, in this instance, for if you're sure that EU is supposed to keep selling, if you want to enter early, you can always go to the 4 hour and you'll see like you can use one of those SARs right there. So in this 4 hour, you could have used this one to write price further down. But for me, I just use the daily by itself. I don't, unless I'm like super positive, I have other confluences to show me that an instrument is either going to go up or down. Right now, I'm still not convinced EU is going to keep going down. But if this daily closes below here tomorrow, you guys will see that my daily bias will be bearish. For the dollar, daily bias is bearish because the last closure was bearish. But if the dollar closes above this buy SAR, my bias on the US dollar will shift to become bullish. Now, given that, so for gold, I don't have any entries for gold. So keep in mind, after I get my daily bias, I move over to the 4 hour and 1 hour timeframes, and then I look for at least a double SAR in the direction of my bias. So since I'm looking for buys, I've turned off the sell zones, the sell SARs. So right now on gold, I don't have any zones for gold. For EU, I had this zone. So yesterday, I entered this buy right here and I got stopped out. The reason I entered that buy was because it was a break and continuation. So I entered the buy on EU, but I got faked out. I think I entered like at 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. Again, it was a holiday, so I knew the risk of that. So I'm down 0.75. Because I upped my risk. Nowadays, I'm risking 0.75% per trade. This is the other trade I was waiting for. So this right here could have been a test and rejection. However, this candle, and you guys probably saw me and Steven talking in the group earlier. So this is the second entry I was waiting for on EU. So if this 4 hour candle, and this is on the 4 hour time frame, if this 4 hour candle had closed above here, I would have taken a buy on EU because that would have been the first candle tested the double SAR, and then the next candle would have given a rejection. However, the candle closed in between those SAR. So at that point, the trade is invalidated. So even though I'm still bullish on EU, waiting for my confirmations allows me to not get burnt. So I did get burnt with this one, but it wasn't, it's just 0.75%. So I can easily get that back, especially since I'm using 1:2. So right now what I'm looking for, so same trade that could have occurred here, this right here is a possible test and rejection also. The reason for that is we have a 4-hour candle that came down to this double by SAR on the 4-hour time frame. So I would want the next 4-hour candle to come in here and reject and close above. And this candle that's closing in the next 3 hours, if this candle rejects, I will be buying EU at about 1 p.m. That's only if this candle closes above. So it needs to come down here and reject and close above. But if this 4-hour candle comes and closes, say, for example, below here, at that point, this entry will be invalidated. And by then it will be 1 p.m., which will be about 4 hours away from the closure of the daily, which then means that by then, the daily bias might start to, or might shift to become bearish. So at that point, if that's the case, tomorrow I'll just turn on or turn off my green SARs right here, and then turn on my red ones, and then I'll just be looking for, or I'll mark up sell entries for EU. So you can see on the 4-hour, if I were to sell EU, is down here because we have a double SAR, or wait for price to retrace up there. If I go on the 1-hour, we probably have more entries on the 1-hour. We have this double SAR right there. We have all these double SARs and triple SARs up there. But until then, I am still bullish on EU. And if you can see those markups, that buy zone on EU is ideally the last saving grace for EU right here. We go on the 4-hour. I don't have any other markups below then. So if EU drops here, doesn't hold this zone, then this is the last saving grace for any buys on EU. For US 30 right here, I'm hoping that this candle closes above here. So here we have a break and continuation. So this candle, this hourly candle right here, broke and closed above, what is that? This hourly candle right here broke and closed above this double SAR right here. So we have this, so same thing, right? I mark up using the same analogy. I'm bullish for US 30, come down to the 4-hour, turn on the SAR settings in any of our indicators. So here, this candle broke and closed above this double SAR, and also we have this double SAR right here. So it also broke and closed above that double SAR as well. So what I would have expected here, again, all of my strategies, you always want to wait for 2 candles to close, because if you FOMO'd into this trade, you could have easily gotten burnt, and then you could have been blaming yourself of not waiting for confluences. So this one broke and closed above 1 double SAR zone to the second double SAR zone. So what I would have wanted to see with this current hourly candle, which again closes in the next 10 minutes. So I doubt in the next 10. So for me to enter this buy right here on US 30, I need in the next 10 minutes, this hourly candle to pump all the way up and close above here. But until then, I will just wait for the next 2 hourly candles to come and close either above this zone or above this zone. So today I may not get any entries for US 30, for gold, or for EU. So again, this entry right here for EU, I have to wait till 1 p.m. to see if it validates or not. For this US 30 trade, unless something magical happens in the next 9 minutes to push US 30 all the way up here, I am not about to get involved in this. Again, this is just personally how I'm trading. And if you guys are looking for sales, you could have been doing I'm pretty sure if I was looking for sales, probably there would be something. So if I turn off all these buys right here, and I delete my buy zones on here, remove those. So this right here, if I was looking for sales, this is a double SAR. So the strategy remains the same. This is a double SAR. I would be looking for 2 candles to close below here. And that's on the hourly. So that's the only one that's close by there. On the 4-hour, see what's there. On the 4-hour, there was this double SAR right here, but however, this was invalid because this candle did not close below. So if you're looking for sales, you can, it's ideally the same thing, the same analysis I'm doing while I'm looking for buys. So you just have to adapt to that. So just because personally I'm looking for buys, does not mean that everybody has to be looking for buys. But the best thing with the SAR strategy, if you follow the 2 candle closure rule to enter trades, even though you're looking for buys and price keeps melting down, you'll probably not get burnt. Like for me on this EU trade, I just lost 0.7. So it's not like I'm buying impulsively right here on this whole move down. Like I'm waiting for like hours and hours at a time. So just make sure you just get at the very least have a daily bias, and then use the SARs for entry possibly, and just find out what works for you. So that's one. So right now today I don't see the SARs giving me any entries. On the other hand, right here using the markups indicator, we have the order blocks. So I know we haven't traded with the order blocks in a minute, which is fine, because again, right, we are always learning and finding what works in different markets. Also, the summer months are ideally off or over. So right now, expect a lot of liquidity to be back into the market. So in the next week or two, I do expect more liquidity in the markets. So yeah, and you guys will notice I've stopped using the 1 hour chart. I've stopped ideally using the trend lines for now. Not that they don't work. I'm just trying to have lesser and lesser markups on my charts. So unless you guys have any questions, I don't see any, well, personally, I don't see any live trades during this session today. So I'll be watching for this EU trade, and I'll be, for this US 30 trade, this will probably happen during Asia session or maybe in like another 3 hours. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Also, one other thing to note that the day after a long weekend or after a holiday, especially US holiday, you expect a lot of manipulation and trending in the market. So so number one, summer is over. When there's less liquidity. So we are back to having more liquidity in the market. It's the first week of the month. It's the last quarter of the month, sorry, of the year. So the last 4 months of the year. So definitely expect a bunch of manipulation. So always wait for proper confirmation. And once you do that, your entries will ideally be safeguarded. But yeah, right now, I do not see anything. Let me check the 30-minute time frames and 15-minute. Just a second. So this is the last double. See something. Give me 1 second. That's a buy entry. Just 1 second. This right here is a buy on US 30. Give me 1 quick second. But that's a double. I want to see how far the stop loss and TP will be. The reason for that is it's in the direction of bias, direction of daily bias. This is a test and rejection. This is on the 30-minute time frame. So I'm in that trade. I'm in it with a 0.75% risk. The reason for this, I'm glad I saw that. This is a test and rejection right here. So this 30-minute candle tested, and then the next one went ahead and rejected. So you can see those 2 candles. So tested that double SAR. This next 30-minute candle tried to close above and rejected and pushed up. So yes, so in that one trade. So I got filled in somewhere above here. So I'll just, my entry is about Yeah, somewhere there. So let's see how this trade. So I'm in this one with a 0.75%. So again, I increase my lots. I'm sorry, my risk per trade from 0.5 to 0.75. So if this trade wins, so again, if you achieve a 1:1, if you entered with me, you go ahead and set break even. If this trade wins, it will be a 1.5% gain. So, and I'm hoping in the next 2 months to be risking about 1% per trade. So this is just, I think I'm still in my first week of risking 0.75 per trade. Okay, so that was on the, wait, give me, no. I thought I changed this. Wasn't that the 30-minute? My bad, guys. I thought that was the 30-minute. Give me 1 second. That's on the 5-minute. Um, uh, I could have sworn that was on the 30-minute. My bad, my bad. I mean, it's still in profit, but just make sure to know that this is a 5-minute entry. This is not a 30-minute entry. I literally thought that that was a 30-minute entry. It is what it is. Since it's still a valid trade, but it's on the 5-minute. So that's fine. I wanted to see what was going on the 30-minute and on the 15-minute. So I'm still going to hold that trade. Worst case, I can, if the trade goes up a little bit, I might lower my risk so that I'm in the trade with like a 0.5% risk. So on the 30-minute, there was nothing on US 30. On the 15-minute, 15-minute, there's nothing really. So the next entry on the 15-minute that can happen is if US 30 closes above this double SAR, so it would be a break and continuation. But anyway, my bad. I thought this was the 30-minute time frame. This is the 5-minute time frame. But anyway, I'm still in that trade. If I get out early or if I scale out early, I'll let you guys know. All right, so let's see for gold on the 30-minute and also on the 15-minute. So I'll go ahead and extend this. All right, so let me make sure I have the right time frame for this one. So gold 30 minutes, nothing until we get to 1919 area. On the 15-minute for gold, nothing as well. All right, so I'll just bring this back to not extending. All right. So currently only this one. EU, let's see if there's anything with EU. Right, so EU, let me make sure I'm on the right time frames. So I'm checking the 30 and 15 ideally because I don't have any trades on the 4-hour and 1-hour. So that's the reason why I'm checking the 30-minute and the 15-minute. So same thing with EU. So nothing really on the 30 and 15. So yeah, I'll come back here. All right, so let's see how this goes. There's definitely volatility in the market because even my MT4 is not moving. I know TradingView is moving, but all right. So 1:1, let's start seeing where to set break even. So my entry is roughly around there. So break even would be here. So if this trade gets here around this green line, that's the area to sell break even. Yeah, but keep in mind, right, as this thing continues in profit, keep in mind, I messed up. I thought this was a 30-minute time frame. It's a 5-minute time frame. But even if it's the 5-minute time frame, the trade is still valid. It was a test and rejection, but just keep in mind that this is not 30-minute. This is 5-minute time frame. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions or if you guys also took the trade. So a critical area I would want us to close above is this one, 34,766. You can see we have a double SAR as well there, and we also have the 9 EMA. So if we break and close above this 9 EMA, which also would lead to break and closure above this double SAR, then that should spike price to the upside. So hopefully that happens soon. And also keep in mind, personally, my forecast for US 30 is US 30 going to create to close the year and create a yearly high. So something like this. This is what I expect. Again, this is on the daily time frame. I do expect US 30 to keep pumping up, make a new all-time high, and then keep going up and create the yearly high, which ideally should be the new all-time high. Right, so see this. So this is perfect for EU. What's happening here? This is perfect because then we need EU to drop in here and then reject and close above. So in the next 2.5 hours. So at the very least, even though it doesn't continue down from here, this is perfect. This is what I wanted to see EU doing. Gold, ooh, gold is dropping. So for gold here, you can see we are approaching So let me see, 1926, 25. Okay. So this right here is a double SAR2 on gold. So this can possibly give a test and rejection entry as well. So that's perfect also for gold. So for this one, this would need to be also the next hourly candle. So that's also perfect for gold. So keep in mind, we need for this trade, we need a closure above this 9 EMA and a closure above this double by SAR. The other thing, so again, I always tell you guys, right, look at the wicks because they always give you a story. So I like this wicks I'm seeing from the bottom because it's telling me that we have buyers that are in this zone that are propping price up. Right. Let me remove this SARs for now. It's a bit too many for my liking. See entry. Also, we have this hourly bullish high as well down here. So let me leave the markups. So we know those double SARs are right here, below here. So one red flag would be any 5-minute closure below this zone. Or let me put below this low right here. Again, the only reason I'm cautious is because of the time frame. Because I thought this was the 30-minute, so that's why I would be looking at this zone for any intervention on my part. But if it was the 30-minute, if this trade that I thought was on the 5-minute was on the 30, I would have let it play out in any way. But since I mistook the 5-minute for the 30, then I might need to close this trade early if we get a closure below here. So that's the only time I may intervene. But let's just keep waiting and see how it goes. see what else there. And this market is dead. Come on. So watch this 5 minute. If in the next 27 seconds, this 5 minute closes below here, I will cut the trade short. Again, if it was the 30 minutes, I would have let it play out, but because I thought this was 30 minute and not 5 minutes, that's the only reason. So if in the next 8 seconds, this trade closes below this blue line, I will cut the trade short. So it was still a valid trade. The only thing is that it wasn't on the 30 minute, it was on the 5 minute. So I will close out this trade. So I'm out of the trade. I took only a, what is it, 0.3. I lost about 0.4 actually. So yeah, so I took the L right there. Lost only about 0.4%. For that one. My bad. That was on me. I thought it was the 30, but it was the 5 minute. So this one for September. Yesterday there was no trade. Um, give me a second. Yes. All right. Yeah, so just a small minus 0.4 loss, but you can see if we didn't hold or if we held it throughout, could have easily gone ahead and lost the whole 0.75 percent. So let's see. My bad, my Mouse just died. I need to charge this. Right. Actually, we'll be halfway through DD. So yeah, so only minus 0.4%. Actually, it's because I lost like 8. So let's see what that was. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions, but I don't see anything else. So this I closed out there, and that candle closed below. So this is the one I was marking up for gold. Forcible tests and rejection. Two. Test and rejection. This one would validate at 12 p.m. This thing, of course, goes back. All right, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I don't see anything else to go over. So this again, still on the still a 5-minute one, but I'm not going to re-enter. I'll just wait for this trades. So for this gold trade and for this EU trade, possibly the EU trade to me is a bit better because FX pairs with the SAR strategy give you a tighter entry, and this thing might end up shooting back and going all the way up. But anyway, so personally I got out early and I recorded that as a loss. So other than that, unless you guys have any questions, I will see you guys tomorrow. Just keep an eye out on, so for US 30 here, for these two trades, or for this, let me just mark up one. For this trade above here, you would need two 1 hour candles to close above 34,820. So two consecutive 1 hour candles. So that's the next entry that I would be looking at for US 30. For gold here, this particular trade would validate at maybe noon. So in the 11 a.m. candle or even the next hourly candle opens, what I would want to see is that candle dropping below and then coming back up and closing above. So I would hope that this current hourly candle closes above, and then I would want the next hourly candle on gold to come and test this zone in here and close above, and at that point that would be a buy. So same thing that's happening for EU right here. So you see EU, this 4-hour candle closed above there, or tested and closed above. The next 4-hour candle came into the same zone, and hopefully it's going to close above. So you're looking for the same pattern to play out right here for EU and gold. But anyway, other than that, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, see you guys. Bye.